image of me. In one glance you won't see my true identity. And when our eyes meet, judgments are made. Society.
Hi, welcome to your Celebrity Apprentice recap. We have a winner after all this time and a 2-hour finale. Arsenio Hall was named the Celebrity Apprentice, much to the dismay of many Claymates, because they came out in large number to support Clay at his final task. They raised $301,000, or at least helped in raising that money, and they were invested in Clay winning, and then he didn't, and they were very, very upset afterwards. But here's the thing. Clay and Arsenio are friends. Both of their charities got 3 months' worth of attention. You know, Clay's got invaluable advertising for his charity. That's a great thing. So I don't think Clay is nearly as upset as his fans are about his loss. But some people said, I had one person tweet to me that Aubrey deserved to be in the final 2 over Arsenio Hall. People think Arsenio didn't do anything. Well, that's not true. He just did it differently. First of all, he didn't lose any project manager. He didn't lose as a project manager. And secondly, he knew when he had Aubrey on his team that it would be more counterproductive to step in and force his way on her, because she is such a bull in a china shop that you just kind of got to let her go, or because reining her in is impossible and it shuts her down. And he realizes that if he shut her down, he might as well axe people off his team altogether, because he wouldn't have productive people. So he knew how to manage the people he had. Was it in a way where a boss comes around and says, you do this and you do that? No. He knew what he had to work with, and he worked with it. And sometimes managing means letting go and letting people do their thing. And that's Arsenio's style. Whereas Clay's style is a little bit more in control. I want to see the pictures before you paint them on the wall. I want to see a sketch, which is perfectly appropriate. Remember, I've been saying for weeks that Aubrey is representing a charity, and it's an anti-bullying charity, and yet she behaves this way on TV. And so it is embarrassing to the charity to have someone represent them in a poor manner. This is Clay's charity. He had every right as a project manager to say, I want to see the sketches. He had even more right as the founder of the very charity he's trying to raise money for to say, I want to make sure those sketches represent the charity in a good way. So Debbie Gibson's boo-hooing and, oh, my cousin's going to have her feelings hurt, and she's sitting on the phone slamming Clay 2 feet away from Clay, and then acts like he's micromanaging her phone call. Debbie, get a clue. During the final boardroom, she finally admits that she was being ridiculous during that whole session. I think Debbie is easily swayed by Aubrey O'Day, and she wants to impress Aubrey. I don't know why, but she does, and therefore she kind of goes over. And then when she gets away from it, she's a little more centered, you know. I think Debbie's an easily swayed person. So Clay brings in $301,000. Arsenio brings in $167,000. Some people say, well, I just don't understand why Arsenio won. My belief is that Arsenio won because of one thing. He said, Mr. Trump, and he said it a couple boardrooms ago when they were the 2 finalists, he said, if I become the Celebrity Apprentice, I will work the rest of my days promoting your brand. Well, what is Celebrity Apprentice about but brand recognitions, promoting the brands that they had projects on, and promoting the Trump name. This is all about Trump here. And so to say that was a stroke of brilliance, really. Claymates are saying, oh, so the person who won was the better person who kissed up more, not the person who earned more. You know, got to know how to work your crowd. And Arsenio said a brilliant thing to Mr. Trump that he remembered and brought up again last night. So when he brought that up, it was like, I think he's leaning towards Arsenio. Singing Mary, she was tweeting back and forth with me, and she said, I think it's going to be Arsenio. I thought it would be Clay at first because of the slam dunk in the money arena. But Mr. Trump brought up the fact that Arsenio had not lost as a project manager during the actual weeks of Celebrity Apprentice, and then that little phrase about devoting his life to the Trumps at the end didn't hurt at all. And then Arsenio was kind of smart. He said, you know, Clay had brought up being second on American Idol and didn't want to be second again. And Arsenio says, you know, we've all heard the American Idol story, but I've been second plenty of times in my life, and I'd like to be first too. And Arsenio plans on making a comeback. All right, some interesting things that happened during the show that I liked. Ivanka Trump. Good on you, Ivanka. At one point, Trump is asking her to talk about Arsenio's good and bad points, and she's talking about them, and she says, you made some enemies along the way, but who could blame you? Ooh, might as well got up and slapped Aubrey across the face in that little statement. It was classic Ivanka Trump. I mean, you got to be intelligent to pick it up. You got to hear it, and you got to know exactly what she means. But she's getting a message across in a very nice and classy way. And basically, it was, you know, Aubrey is still huffing and puffing over their argument, 6 weeks ago. She's still, I hate Clay. And she's just so immature. I don't care how creative this woman is, and she may be creative, she's destructive at the same time, and it's counterproductive. You can have all the great ideas, but if you treat people the way you treat people, you are not going to ever get far in business. It's just not going to happen. And then this little, I don't know him as man, and he's a terrible person. It's just so childish and yeah. Okay, so Lisa Lampanelli gets a montage yesterday of showing her yelling. I had one person, a small discussion on Twitter last night about the $10,000 she gave to Clay Aiken. While it was a very, very nice thing for her to do, give $10,000 to Clay Aiken, she was also on Arsenio's team. So basically, she is sabotaging Arsenio. Would $10,000 have made the difference? No. Some people felt that if you're on Arsenio's team, you give the money to Arsenio, that's it. Some people felt it was really nice that she gave money to Clay. That was nice. My opinion was, hey, if you're going to show support to the charities, that's a wonderful thing. But why don't you take 5 of it to Clay's and 5 of it to the team you're on? That was my take on it. I can't knock the woman for giving money to a charity. There's just no way you can. But some people felt like it was her way of trying to manipulate things right to the very end. Lisa and Aubrey didn't get as much good airtime as I think they hoped for yesterday. The women on the panel who had been eliminated first resoundingly said, look, the problem with our team wasn't us, it was Lisa and Aubrey. Not one of them felt that Diana was the problem or anything. It was Lisa and Aubrey, and those two pretty much knew that they were sitting in a panel full of people who couldn't stand them. Owned her... Diana made fun of her. They showed a clip of Diana making fun of her, and Lisa laughed it off, and she said, hey, I dished it out, I can take it, and I'm a menopausal nutcase. And I think they both knew that they weren't getting a lot of fans out of this show, and it was time to tone it back a little bit. Diana, at one point, Trump looks at Lisa and says, ask Arsenio a question, and Lisa says to Arsenio, do you find me attractive? Arsenio laughs, they joke back and forth. Then he looks at Diana and says, Diana, ask Arsenio a question. Diana says, do you find Lisa attractive? I thought that was quick and witty, and it showed, these women have no love lost for each other. There's the two, Lisa and Aubrey, and then the rest of them. And the rest of them don't like Lisa and Aubrey. And they played nice on live TV, but that's about it. They're not going to play nice anymore. Here's what I want to talk about. Aubrey! An Aubrey moment. Mr. Trump comes in, and Aubrey swoops in. Anytime anybody walks into a room, Aubrey swoops in and takes them away from the project manager. This has been her style all along. But at this point, I'm thinking to myself, Aubrey, don't you realize you can't be fired anymore? You have already been fired. Stop swooping in and trying to impress. So somebody comes in to work on it, and Clay starts talking to him. Aubrey swoops in, hugs him, and literally starts to carry him away. And Clay's got to go, wait, can I just talk to the person? And Aubrey acts all, All right, well, if you want to. So immature. And then Mr. Trump comes in, and she does the same thing. She's going to take Mr. Trump around during this thing. And there she is talking about one of the games that the children play at Clay's charity, as if she's the expert, and Clay's standing there like, I cannot believe this girl. Seriously, Aubrey, you gotta step back. You were not the expert on this charity. Clay was. And Clay was the project manager, and it was Clay's moment. For all of that, I felt sorry for Clay because he had to battle these women on his team just to get his project done. So I'm glad he won $301,000 for his charity, and I'm glad for Arsenio. I would have been happy either way. I was happy to see two finalists who enjoyed each other's company, respected each other, and it wasn't about barking back and forth and calling each other idiots and all these other names. So, Celebrity Apprentice, Arsenio Hall, did you think he deserved to win? Some people don't, because he was laid back and relaxed. They say he skated. I say it's a management technique, and he got to the end, and he won more projects than anybody else. So, Clay had a pretty good winning streak there for a long time, and he had to work with some difficult people in the end, and still won more money for his charity. So good for both Clay Aiken and Arsenio Hall. This was your Celebrity Apprentice recap. Join me tonight where I am going to award my own Mirrorball trophy to the Dancing with the Stars finalists. I cover Dancing with the Stars, Diana's Ballroom for Reality Nation, and tonight I'm giving away a Mirrorball trophy to who I think will be the winner of Dancing with the Stars. So join me tonight. Bye.